KaTalk, KaTalk. I love using Korean emoticons. It's very difficult to translate emoticons. There's no way to put them through a translator. So I was sending one to this person who is a CEO of a big company in Korea. I sent an emoticon that said, and I didn't know that that's what it said. I thought it said something else. Hey, so today I want to talk about the emoticons that I use because I love using Korean emoticons. People in Korea are always surprised because I have so many that I like. I buy them, other people buy them for me because they send me their favorite emoticons, and so it's really a lot of fun. And I have probably 25 or 30 that I use all the time.
KaTalk. KaTalk.
Right? KaTalk. KaTalk. When I share my KaTalk with Koreans, so many Koreans are surprised that I'm on KaTalk. And I'm connected to so many people, like hundreds of people on KaTalk, because it's just really easy. I always like saying KaTalk, and then people always say like, what? I say KaTalk. And then Koreans will say, wait, do you mean KakaoTalk? And I'm like, yeah, but you say KaTalk. So I say KaTalk. But they don't expect me to say that, But I started using it because I like to use the messaging apps a lot, much more than email. And I realized that Koreans have KaTalk that they use. And a long time ago, like 7 years ago. And so as soon as I realized, I downloaded it, and then I would always just ask people what their phone numbers were, their user ID or something. And it just makes it so easy to use. And now in KaTalk, I think I have about 250 friends and acquaintances on KaTalk. Yeah. I've been communicating with people around the world for 40 years. And I know that what you want to do to effectively communicate with people is to use whatever platform it is that they use. Because what they're comfortable with is what they're going to like to use. And so for me, every new app that I learn is an opportunity to expand my mind. And so once I start communicating with Koreans in KakaoTalk, it's so much faster because they know it so well, and we can send so many things back and forth. When I'm in Korea and I'm watching people online, like maybe I'm in the subway or whatever, first off, the thing that's most noticeable is everybody's on Korean platforms, man. Everyone's on Korean platforms. Like nobody's on, because I'm always looking over people's shoulders and seeing what they're looking at, because that's how I am as a person, because I want to know, right? I'm always sociologizing. So I'd be like, you got your phone, and I'm kind of hanging on to the strap, and I'm looking, and I'm like checking out. And everyone's on Korean platforms. And then what I discovered were all the emojis and emoticons that people were using. They would send me these emoticons, and I would say, oh, okay, that's cool. How do I find those? And then I remember downloading my first emoticons, and then I showed somebody and they said, oh my God, you need these. And then they bought some other ones for me. And then before I knew it, I had lots and lots of emoticons. And you can say so many things with a simple emoticon. So many things. And I've learned that I can just, sometimes I have conversations with Koreans just in emoticons. They send one, then I send one, and they send one, and I send another one, and then we've finished our conversation with 4 emoticons. The way I pick my emojis is based really on what's useful to me, like less kind of what's cute and more what's useful. This one, are you there, right? I can send that out. When I'm wanting to do that, I often use this also. I'll send that first, and then I'll send a message to somebody. These are my golf emojis, or emoticons, and these are ones that I use a fair amount. This is one that I like a lot. I use it a lot. Just feels good. This I use a lot. This actually, excitement, I use that one a fair amount. That's kind of cool. This ape one is good. This one I use a lot. The laughter, the laughing apes. But you know what's interesting about some of these is if they don't have words, I don't know what they mean. Like this one right here. I don't know what that means. And I know Koreans have an idea for what it means, but I don't. Or this one right here. Or that one right there. I'm just not sure exactly how to interpret the facial features, right? This has the question marks, so that's more clear to me. I don't know, and sometimes I just use them and I ask people, hey, what, you know, that's how I learn about the emojis. So this is one that I use all the time, right here, when somebody thanks me for something and I want to say, hey, no problem. Again, the laughing one, laughter is used a lot. This I use a fair amount. This, it's okay, right? This is sort of even better than okay. I like this, but I find that, you know, I don't see people using a lot of emojis or emoticons with alcohol. You know, that just doesn't seem very common, so I don't use it a lot. I think that's also really interesting about emoticons, and this is kind of unique to Koreans, I think. A lot of emoticons are like cute, you know? And men that I communicate with, other professors and sometimes, you know, like business people, or they will send these really cute emoticons that in the United States, the only people that would use those emoticons are like 12 or 13-year-old girls, right? And I'm sending this cute emoticon to the CEO of a big Korean corporation, and the CEO sends another one back to me that in the US, a 12-year-old girl would send. Nobody else would ever send. And I really love that. I love that about Koreans. So here's another interesting thing about Korea. You know, you have this kind of masculine like culture in a way, right? Korean men are very stiff. They can be very stiff, right? But Korean men they'll send these emoticons around that, again, they're like 12-year-old girls in the West would use, right? So there's kind of this soft spot. And I think the emoticons allow men in particular, but women also, but men, it allows us to express something that's kind of really cute and nice and soft. And I think that's really important because that's a part of all human beings and it has to come out in some kind of way. Here's a funny story. You know, because it's very difficult to translate emoticons. There's no way to put them through a translator. So I was sending one to this person who is a CEO of a big company in Korea. He sent me a message and I sent a message back, and then he sent some, and then I sent an emoticon that said, I love you more each day. And I didn't know that that's what it said. You know, I thought it said something else. And then someone said, no, that says, I love you more each day. And I went, well, okay, I guess I love him more each day. And then he sent something back that was not that. But, you know, I thought, well, he knows. I'm an American and he knows that I don't speak Korean. So I'm sure he laughed at that. So if KaTalk emojis were a window into Korean society, I think one thing that it says is that Koreans have a soft side and a sweet side inside of them that can come out in emojis. So you got this really intense work culture and really pretty stiff and very formal, and all these relationships are hierarchical and formal, but you can send these emojis around and it just shows something that's different. And I think that what it does is it expresses this side of Korean culture that needs to come out, that is there, and that the Koreans, and again, especially men, have a difficult time expressing. You know, like I will see I'll go to a conference and there'll be lots of professional men there, you know, academics and business people, and they'll have these little cute key rings on their briefcase or their backpack. And I think, I never see that in the United States. You just would never see that. And I see it with men. And I think, oh, that's really cool. That's really cute about Koreans. Yeah. I really want to make my own emojis. I want to use cartoon figures like this one that's in the background here. And I just feel like we could make some really cool emojis. So I really would like somebody in Korea to say, okay, let's go, man. I'll make your emojis with you. And then we figure out how to get them up on KaTalk, right? Because I want to use them on KaTalk. I want to use my own. So if I gotta figure out how to make that happen and get them uploaded so we can sell them on KaTalk or give them away. It doesn't matter. So if you are out there and you're an artist and you want to make some emojis for me, I would really love to participate.